as an overview how we can use permit data to allow us to create some data layers in the target market to allow us to identify accounts that we're looking for, or identify high value accounts as it relates to our products and services. So essentially what I have here is just a snapshot of 3 images. This is the geographic area, and then it's a time-based sequence. So we're looking at a period over, say, 12 months. And then the first thing we look for is show me how many well permits have been taken out in that particular area. And then we look at how many pipeline permits have been taken out in that area. And we look at how many facility permits, so gas plants, batteries, those types of compressor stations. So those are essentially our 3 data sets. And then those are the 3 layers of data. What we do is we can then come in and we can take a copy of that data set here, and here's our well permit data. We can summarize it and say, show me from top to bottom who are the accounts that are the most busy, and we do that across all 3 of those data sets. And then what we come out to is our master, which is our master comparison. So what we're trying to identify is, what company is going to need the most transportation, which company is going to need the most completions, pipeline work, so on and so forth. And what we do is we then bring all 3 of those market segments together, all 3 of those data sets together, and then we can go in here and we can take a look at it. So what we have is I could say, well, let's see what it looks like top to bottom, largest to smallest. When we look at Chevron, well, we can see that there are lots of well permits, but not doing as much in the way of pipelines and facilities. Thus, the score is less than Tourmaline in the geographic area they're in. And then we can link at all 3 of them, so essentially it becomes a bit of a score for us. Allows us to say, okay, is there a market segment of accounts in here that we're really focused on? So maybe I want companies that are a bit more mid-market in that area. So again, some of these companies might be large. They might have other geographic areas that they're focused on. We're just looking at, in that particular area, does that fit the profile of our ideal customer prospect that we're looking for? Or are we going down the list and we're looking at, again, it becomes a pretty long tail of guys, and then what we see, some guys are only doing wells, and then we see some guys that are only doing, so pipeline permits, so on and so forth. So that allows us to come in and just quickly go through this account-based selling process, which is essentially, targeting a market. So we say, here's our market, taking a look at the geographic market coming from Drayton Valley up to Fox Creek. And then in that geographic market are 3 data sets that we're looking for. We're looking at well permits, pipeline, and facility permits. Being able to take those data sets and consolidate them into one master data set, so we can come in here and start to take a look at some of the companies that we're focused on. Ways you could extend that: what's their total budget? That might be something that's interesting here. That ultimately would give you the numbers. Roughly, are they just strictly a play in that area, or are they looking at many different areas on that side of it? So an idea of what a custom report translated, taking the data, the well permit data, and building a custom report targeting accounts in a specific geographic area.